Wes du har min freund and welcome to yet another video. If you've been following House of the Dragon and watching each and every single episode, my dear friends, you know that it is a very decent adaptation, and I do admit it. Please feel free to check out my reviews of the individual episodes if you are here for the first time. Welcome to European Law. But we know that the latest episode ended with rather a controversial ending, shall we say. And for those of you who have not seen the latest episode yet, please leave now, watch it and come back, or watch my review, because I'm going to be talking about spoilers. Now, the episode concluded with Princess Rhaenys taking back her dragon, and then, of course, leaving the captivity of the King's Landing. But before that, she absolutely smashed the coronation room and threatened to burn the royal family, basically. But, of course, this was not in the source material. In the source material, of course, as I have described already, or said in my latest video, or the review of the Rings of... not the Rings of Power, House of the Dragon, she just left. And then, of course, Aegon was crowned as Aegon II, and then he got on his own dragon and he flew 3 times over the crowd that was present. And in the meanwhile, one of the White Cloaks, the guards, in secrecy, he took the crown of King Viserys the Targaryen, and he brought it over to Dragonstone to Rhaenyra. We know that the crown that was on the head of Aegon II was the crown of Aegon the Conqueror, the first of his name. He decided, Aegon II, to wear the crown of the Conqueror instead of his own father. Well, in the show, of course, it was a little bit different, but as I say, it is a very good adaptation, and most of the things that they decided to do in the show, it fits the format, it fits the adaptation, it fits the action style of today's entertainment, and I don't have many problems with it. The latest change, I did have a couple of gripes with it, although it looked cool, of course. It made Rhaenys into a very cool character. But there were a lot of complaints from the side of the fans concerning the fact itself. So first, she got on the dragon and she stormed the room. She absolutely annihilated it. She slaughtered a lot of the common people there. And then she didn't slaughter the royal family, quote unquote. And people went like, yeah, so why? And there is the answer that we have here from one of the showrunners or writers, I believe. Thank you, Bounding Into Comics, for providing us with this article and this interview, and we will dive into it, and then we will comment upon it further. House of the Dragon writer Sarah Hess says, Rhaenyra spared Queen Alicent. Well, it's not Rhaenyra, is it? Yes, I mean, they at the beginning of the article, in the first half of the article, Bounding Into Comics, they kind of confused Rhaenyra for Rhaenys, which is understandable. Those names sound similarly, but we are talking about Rhaenys here, not Rhaenyra. Rhaenys spared Queen Alicent from Dragonflame because they're both mothers in this terrible world created by man. Yeah, so the first question that pops up everybody's mind is, oh, right, so she spared the mother because, yeah, she is also a mother, but she had no problems slaughtering all the other mothers that were surely in the crowd. Fine, cool. Double standards right there. Now, you can see that the answers that the showrunners, the writers have are always the same, you know, all for strong female characters, inclusion, representation, diversity, equity, yada, yada, yada. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if the truth lies somewhere else, they just try to cram those socio-political agendas everywhere. Why not just say the truth? Why not just say, and it is what I think the reason was for them deciding to make this kind of ending of the episode? Well, because it looks cool. and because it might have some repercussions in the future episodes. All right, fine. According to House of the Dragon writer and executive producer Sarah Hess, the confusing decision made by Rhaenys in the series' latest episode to spare the lives of Queen Alicent and her fellow royal usurpers, thus condemning the realm to warfare, was born out of the recently freed Targaryen princess's womanly respect for her captor. As seen in the climax of the series' 9th episode, The Green Council, the season-long battle between Queen Alicent and Rhaenyra for control of the Iron Throne, now we are talking about Rhaenyra, of the Iron Throne, came to a particularly brutal head when, after being freed from the former's captivity by Sir Eric, the Princess of Dragonstone, now we are talking about Rhaenys, summons her mount Meleys and roars up from the depths of the Dragon Pit to confront her former confidant. However, upon a coming dragon to face with Queen Alicent, Prince Aegon and their allies, rather than putting a decisive end to power struggle and instructing her mount to roast them alive, Rhaenys spares them instead of choosing to simply turn and flee the city. Unsurprisingly, this merciful decision was met with confusion from fans, with many finding it unclear as to why Rhaenys would choose to avoid a handful of murders in favor of the bloody brutality of war. Presented with an opportunity to speak with the episode's writer and director, Sarah Hess and Claire Kilner, respectively, the Hollywood Reporter's James Hibbert used the chance to inquire just as to why Rhaenys did what she did, or rather, what she didn't do. Beginning with a bit of alternate history speculation, Hibbert opened his conversation with the pair by asking Hess for her thoughts as to what would Alicent have chosen to do Rhaenys, now finally, if she hadn't escaped and refused to bend the knee, to which she opined, I feel like she just keeps on being a prisoner. Alicent's not going to chop her head off, reflected the writer. She's more passive. She tends to let the men steamroll her in most cases, so I don't know what would have happened, but Alicent was clearly okay with just keeping her there. Well, you know, from time to time, I think, I like bounding into comics, but from time to time, I think they need a better editor. I don't think she would have let her get murdered, but I don't think she necessarily would have set her free either. I think Alicent believes that she's trying to keep peace and stop war, but she's just working within the patriarchy, added Kilner, prompting Hess to affirm Alicent believes if we can just get the men to do the right thing. Turning to the moment during a recent post-episode premiere interview with the two, Hibbert asked, so from the beginning we have been waiting for Rhaenys to do something badass and you gave us this incredible moment. It's very cool, but it did make me wonder, does it make sense that she doesn't kill them? Briefly mentioning that she also murders a bunch of civilians by busting out anyway, the reporter was met with a simple exclamation from her, it's Game of Thrones, civilians don't count. This is such a stupid comment that I don't even know if it's worth getting into it. It's like when people say it's fantasy, so anything goes. It's just a simple and a dumb way to get out of a question and an argument. Pressed further by Hibbert as to why Rhaenys didn't just pull the Dracarys trigger and save countless lives, possibly including her own, by preventing war. Why just turn around and fly away, the writer explained. I think she just can't do it. It's not her war, she continued. The fight is between these two sides and she's kind of not in it. She doesn't feel like she's the one to come in and do that. But you're right. If she had just incinerated everybody, it's game over. Rhaenyra wins, and this time, yes, Rhaenyra would win, and we are done here. But the cost is huge. And also Rhaenys. Wow, this article really needs an editor. I also feel like that moment, she looks Alicent in the eye and Alicent walks in front of a kid to shield him, said Hess. It's one mother to another. Rhaenys is angry, but in her previous scene with Alicent, she respected her, even if she doesn't agree with her, so she's not going to kill another woman like that. Yeah, but she would have no problems killing men, right? I'm sure. In coming to this decision, interjected Kilner, the team talked to Rhaenys actress Eve Best about this, and in the previous scene she felt that Alicent really saw Rhaenys for the first time in a long time. In that moment, their mothers in this terrible world created by men, and she can't do it, she concluded. Oh boy. What do you think about that? What do you make of it? I think that their arguments are just dumb, stupid excuses to get out of an uncomfortable question. It's not really uncomfortable. Well, no question is really uncomfortable if you are honest about the answer. Of course, I can't be 100% sure. I wasn't a fly on the wall when they were writing the script, but I think that they just made it because it's cool. It looked cool. It made Rhaenys into a badass female character. Full stop. They did it to push their, feminist agenda, of course, and obviously, but don't try to hide behind arguments like, she is a mother and she wouldn't hurt another mothers. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, House of the Dragon are full of mothers slaughtering other mothers. Just look at Cersei Lannister. She had no problems getting or ordering people to slay other mothers. Well, but anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you think, and that will be all. Thank you very much for watching, and Marie.